friends, it's Nancy and we're back to work on our vintage sewing pattern journal. So let's see how our spine turned out. This is as much a mystery to me as anyone watching. So I'm just taking the socks off. And Catherine messaged me and said to put elastics on the end and tuck the pantyhose into the elastics. Well, that makes sense. I don't know why I didn't think of that. So there's our round spine. Just gonna cut this tape off. I don't want to rip my paper. I've used washi tape before. I don't know why I wouldn't stick to this time. Okay, now next step is to cut out the covers. So I'm just going to go slow and I'll do the front first. There's one cut. Now, I want to make sure this is so this is 5 3/4 inches wide. So I have to make sure the back is the same as the front. And 8.5 inches wide. Okay, I feel like I can take a breath now. All right, let's make this match. Maybe I'll cut the bottom first. Okay, we want this to be 5 3/4 inches wide. So it's a little short, but we'll put this on towards the spine, so I'll have a little bit of fabric covering that. And 8.5 inches long. Perfect. there's a teeny tiny part that's not covered here on this corner and this corner. I'm not super concerned about it, but I'm going to use a little scrap to cover each end anyway. Just so that it looks the same. I can let that dry for a minute. Okay, so now we have to figure out how we're going to attach this and this. Actually, it goes this way to this. Are you ready for that step? All right, let's do it. So I've got a piece of file folder. I'm going to move these out of the way. And I'm going to cut two lengths that are 8.5 inches long. I guess I'll have to go this way. And they don't have to be very big. I'm just going to square this up. Let's say, 2 inches each. 2 by 8.5. I'm gonna grab my scoreboard and I'm gonna score both of these. Let's say 1/2 inch. So is this starting to make sense? All right, so we're going to glue the little wing part here inside of the curve. And I'll use my Fabri-Tac for that. And I use my scoreboard because I want it to be square. I'm just going to hold this for a minute. Do the same on this side. I hope everybody's having a good day. Had a lot of orders out the door today. So that was good. If you placed an order recently, it's on its way. Well, you know that anyway because I sent you a message. It's not quite set up yet. Okay. Now, I am going to glue this here, and I'm going to leave a teeny tiny little space, like a 1/16 of an inch. Not a whole lot, just a little bit of a lip there. A dip there, I mean, not a lip, a dip. Okay, make sure that the edges meet up. Just trimming where I put that patch on in the corners. Okay. So this one has a little white spot. I'm going to put towards the inside because I will be overlapping that with a little bit of fabric. And again, I'm going to leave that little space, that little dip. Okay, I feel like that's pretty even. Now, we know that this is 2.5 inches. Do we? No, it's 2 1/4 inches. Whoa. 2 1/4 inches. And then I need a little bit of fabric to go down in the dip. Let's add another quarter. And then I want a little bit of an overlap, not much. Maybe another 1/4 of an inch. So altogether I want a piece of fabric that finished is 3 inches wide. Now, when I say finished, I mean I don't want a raw edge. So I'm either going to, I'm just going to set that over there to dry. I'm either going to turn an edge over and sew it, or I will put ribbon over where the raw edge, or I will, I think what I'm going to do in this case is, let's see, I want this in the center. So 3 inches is going to be like that ish. So sort of, I'm just going to mark it with a pencil. So sort of in this white line. Now, if you don't have a striped fabric, you don't have to worry about getting it even, unless there's a part of the pattern that you really want in the center. So what I will be doing is turning this here, and I think I want to do some lace, obviously. And then this side. Now, if you want more fabric covering it, then just add as much as you want. But I only wanted about 1/4 of an inch over that edge, because I want as much of the pattern showing as possible. I mean, I don't want to cover up half of the little maid of honor or whoever she is. So then I will turn this one. Yeah, I don't want any frayed edges. If you want frayed edges, go for it. I know that is a very popular look. Just not what I'm going for. All right, I'm gonna dip in my box here, see what I've got that looks like lace we want to use. I'm gonna turn it around the correct way. I think all the lace I have in here is really wide lace, so maybe I don't want any of the lace in here. I might have to look into my stash. Yeah, everything in here is really wide lace. Some oldie, but it's really ecru. I don't want ecru, I want white. But it sure was pretty. Okay, we'll have to look in our other box. Let's see what we have in here. Ooh. No, I don't want to use that, but I might use it somewhere else. Everything feels super wide in here. What about this one? Well, it's wide, but I can cut it in half, right? so much escaped. Okay, so if I use this lace, I could cut it in half. If I had scissors that cut, I could cut it in half. I might need to cut a bit out of the center too, because I'm trying to be mindful of how much of the cover I want covered. So I'm going to cut just a little smidgy. Gosh, things are falling off me, falling into me, falling around me. I'm going to use my rotary cutter this time. Works for me. Come on, I want you to lay straight. You're gonna get one more chance. Okay, now I could sew this to where I'm going to hem the fabric, but that's too much. I'm going to just run a bead of glue here, not down in the ditch, but on the edge. And make sure I have my lace upright. Okay. Do the same on this side. Piece of paper was sticking up, so I just glued it down. It's starting to look like a book, isn't it? Okay, I think it was this way. Sorry, I think my hair was in the camera. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to sew this hem and sew this hem. If you don't want to sew, you can glue down a hem. You could just use your glue stick and make sure that it's actually making contact with the thing you want to glue. And then just press it with your fingers where you want it to fold. Whoops. There we go. So we will be gluing this down just like this, but I am going to sew it, so I'll pause briefly. Okay, if that didn't record, I'm going to lose my mind and we're going to have to do another journal. What I did was I just use a thin bead of glue to lay down the just on the curve. Now here I've run a thin bead down into the gap and just down into the gap. Now I'm going to use my boning tool thing to push the fabric down into that gap. Okay. Now I've already done the back, so if I didn't record that, I'm sorry. But we did the back first and we left it just so it could set up. Okay, so I'll turn this around. And now is any glue even coming out? There we go. I'm going to press that down. I might even want to use my ruler just so I can evenly apply pressure. And I'll flip that around. Ooh, that's looking good. We'll do the same thing here. Okay. Whew. Looking good. Now, I am going to let this glue sit up for a minute. But the next step will be, we'll turn this over and we'll glue this edge around. Okay. But I think we'll stop here because I think that was enough for one day. Just making sure we're in there. We're in there. Yep. Gosh, I'm happy with how that turned out. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right. So thanks so much for watching this video. We'll come back and we're going to do another one.